Hi gang, welcome back to the Honest Latina Ever. Today's topic is going to be the lamestream media. I thought I would go on and watch chicken shit news, CNN, and I wanted to see who their corporate sponsors were. Who were the people that pay for advertising so that CNN could keep spouting their propaganda and their bullshit. So God, I had a whole list, but the first thing that came up was Yuengling beer, and a guy by the name of Dick, and by the last name, his name is Yuengling. I like the beer, and he's from Pittsburgh or Philadelphia, something with a P. But anyway, the state is very liberal, so you guys figure it out. I did my research, and they had like companies like Toyota and UNICEF. Of course, we know that they're liberal, and environmental groups and whatnot. But mainly is that we need to be aware of all the things that we use, and who these corporations target as customers, and when they target certain demographics, who are they supporting? So if you want to plug up the leaking, you have to think about the money. You have to cut the money tree off. So say if you want the terrorists to stop being terrorists, then you have to figure out what's fueling terrorism. For example, do we want to keep buying our oil from the Middle East if they have a problem down there? I sure in the hell don't want to subsidize other foreign countries that are hating on us. So anyway, and speaking about hating, they had a thing on Chicken Shit News, CNN, and I absolutely hate them. I was at an event for Jeb Bush years ago. Margaret Spellin was on there for No Child Left Behind, and I asked her a question. It never made it to the air, of course, because I was basically calling her a bigot. Oh gosh, a Puerto Rican woman calling Margaret Spellin out. But of course that didn't make it to the air. None of my Jeb Bush appearances made it to the air on Chicken Shit News, but they were covering it. They were covering the event. So anyway, it was like I wasn't even there. I'm sure I'm on the cutting room floor. I'm sure they might dig it out, if they needed to, or probably won't because they're against Donald Trump. But long story short, Chicken Shit News was all for open borders, and they were all for Jeb Bush, and Jeb Bush was all for open borders. And they don't like anybody that's not an establishment Republican that's perfect like themselves. Perfect like themselves is people that cover up sex slave trafficking, who cover up child sex slave rings in the United States, who actually side with the royals, who actually came up with the invention of sex slaves, who come up with all these royal orphanages where they throw their money in and have the Catholic priest organize. They are real good with kids, especially altar boys. Anyway, tongue in cheek there. Anyway, these people are in bed with the monarchs, and the monarchs really like democracy, and they like socialism. Not even democracy, they like socialism, because that's really how they make their living. They don't like to work. And so they want to give all our money to all the unfortunate people, and of course they want to exploit those poor, oppressed, unfortunate people. And also at the expense of the middle class, because they really detest the middle class. God forbid we get smart enough to catch on to their fucking ploys. I mean, who would think that because of pedigree, you're better than everybody else, and that deems you worthy to sit around on your ass and do nothing for a living, and get all the media to love you, and to start wars and covet land. God forbid that we want to bring up the fact that they've raped, pillaged, and killed to get their positions and their crowns and their royal jewels. So anyway, I'm not thinking too much of the monarchs right now. Of course, I would like to be a queen for the day. If I did, I would probably tell somebody to shove their crumpets. Oh, yes, this new year is going to be absolutely great. We're going to hear all about Prince Harry and how he's going to marry some Negro from America. Whoop-de-doo, she's maybe 5% and whatever. And then he's going to interview Barack Obama, because the royals sure love black people, and nothing like mixing with them now, so that we can make everything more culturally acceptable. Why they completely figure out a way to stop the media and the propaganda, so that the middle class people cannot have a voice or a say in their democracy. God forbid we have unsightly and horrible things spreading across the internet that are true, and exposing the conspiracy theories, so-called. But anyway, they're just a bunch of pricks, and I don't like them. And they're not for democracy or freedom, and they're not for the people. And that's why we broke away from all that terrible hoo-ha in England. You know, and look at England, you know, and the terrorism that's going on there, and they're like really inviting these terrorists into their country, and then all of a sudden they want our protection. It's like, I would tell them to go fuck themselves. Like, really, you're the one that invited all these assholes into the country. And I would pull out of the UN agreement and tell those guys to go fuck themselves too. And then I would tell everybody else at the very, 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 very top to go screw themselves. And, you know, you wouldn't want me at one of those Bilderberg meetings, because, you know, we wouldn't be building nothing. We'd be like tearing them down. I would say to you Bilderberg people, look, you fucking pricks, we've been doing things your way for quite some time, and it's not working out for me very well. If you want to delete some of the population, why don't you start with some of your own people? Really, I mean, literally, like, you know, this is what they are. It's about population control, and instead of the survival of the fittest, it's the survival of the stupidest that survive. They actually encourage dumb people to reproduce. And why do they do that? Because they want to, like, hire robots to do everything, while we pay all the stupid people that really have no level of intelligence to reproduce. So I think that's pretty backwards, because you know what? This is not how it works in the world of natural selection. In fact, if you're too stupid to go hunt and gather, then you starve and you die off, and that would probably be the right thing to do. So anyway, with that said, isn't that a lovely way to like start the new year or end the new year? It's like talk about natural selection and death. I mean, literally, like, you know, we have countries out there that completely don't know how to plant seeds into the ground to save themselves, or to drink clean water, but we're going to build a McDonald's somewhere on their area. And that would probably be a step up from starvation, I guess. If you were starving, it's better to eat McDonald's crap than eat, you know, nothing. But preferably, I'd rather not. With that said, you guys, I hope that you enjoy my posts, forward them on, keep reading, stop watching CNN and what are all those other ones? I don't even know their names anymore, because who's that Rachel Mad Cow? Yeah, Mad Cow disease on MSN or MS, how do you say it? MSNBC? Yeah, Will's mouthing it to me from behind the camera because I don't even know it. That is how bad I am. I don't watch anything other than Fox. And it's because I won't listen to that bullshit. And you know, look at the corporate sponsors. Sit around and watch their channels to see who's funding them, and simply stop buying the products. You know, support conservative think tanks and people that are going to uphold the borders and the country and make America great again, guys. With that said, have a great day. God bless.